G'day there guys, welcome back to In My Shed. I'm BC. Just a bit of a show and tell today. During the week I did a bit of hog trading and the Cincinnati number 2 has been allocated to a new user, and we haggled over some accessories, some other bits that I had here, and I think I've got a pretty good score. I'll bring you in a little bit closer to have a look shortly. One good bit of news: the blade survived the crash. I am really amazed at how tough these tools are. The Iscar parting tool. Put a straight edge up on the side of it. There's no bend in it, and I thought for sure it would be bent like hell. But there's there were a couple of little nicks on the front of the lower part of the mechanism, and I just stoned them off yesterday with a little degusting stone, and it's all good to go. So another plus. Iscar parting tools are bloody tough as tiger shit. Okay, before you come in, I'll give you a bit of an explanation. One item I have lurking in the background, and this is something I've had for years. I managed to pick up off eBay what I believe to be a more right 4-foot master straight edge, and I think I had some paperwork with it when it came here. It was still in the original greased paper, which I haven't even cleaned it off. I've used it a couple of times, but yeah, it's in brand new nick. I don't think it was ever used. It's 4 foot by 3 inch by ½ inch. I think that's correct. And it's as flat as a shit carter's hat. In every direction it is dead straight, dead true. So it's a real good master straight edge for me to have around the shed. Got a very good Mitsutsuyo dial indicator. John passed that on because he does everything in metric. I'm an old bastard that does everything in imperial. So that was greatly accepted. And with the cylindrical grinder coming soon, I picked up a pair of old-fashioned analog digital micrometers. I suppose that's what you'd call them. They have an accuracy or divisions of 1/100th of a millimetre. There's a 0 to 25 and a 25 to 50, so it's a good pitch and pair for cylinder grinding. I picked up a cylindrical square, which is something I've been looking for quite some time, and it's in really good nick. It's highly polished. Graham tells me it's got to be made out of cast iron. I don't know. I'm not going to file it to find out, but it's a very nice item and something that I've wanted or cherished or looked for a long time. Is a Harrog Unigrind fixture, or grind, or I got a number 1. I would have liked the number 2, which is I think it's a 4.5 inch centre height. This is a 3 inch centre height, but hell, when am I going to do anything big enough to lift a big one? So I get behind the camera now. I'll zoom you into one location and we'll go through the items one by one. Okay, I hope I stay in the picture now. In the background you can see that master straight edge. That's been a good buy. Now these micrometers are fairly well worn, or put it this way, they're old but in workable condition. Very, very fine adjust. And I tried them on a bit of bar stock. I've got a bit of super steel out in the shed, and both of them, yeah, they mic'd up quite well. Very pleased with that. I think I've only got 1/10 of a thou mic, and that's 0 to 1, I think. But anyway, they're good for the addition. Anyone's got any larger fine feed micrometers or fine read micrometers? I'm after a 2 to 3 and a 3 to 4. I'd like to do a swap for some gear if you want. This is an absolute gem, pristine condition, Mitsutsuyo. Like their gear. I do have a lot of cheap measuring instruments. Get it in focus. But the good product I do appreciate. It's always much nicer to use. And also the feel on the gauge. If you're trying to do tool room work like tool grinding or any fine tuning, yeah, they are the right ones to get. Now here's the first monster coming out of the box. If I can get it out without dropping it on my toe. That would be a disaster because this is bloody heavy. Okay, that'll give you an idea of how big it is. It looks like it's about 2.5 by 7. Yeah, it's dished in the end and very, very finely ground on the end. At this end does show a few scuff marks. I don't know whether it's been repolished or lapped or whatever. But I do have a small piece of granite that started life as a kitchen cutting board, and believe it or not, it's about 12 by 12. It's only got 1.5 thou dip in the middle of it, so it's reasonably accurate, and that's the closest thing I've got to an accurate surface plate. But yeah, been looking for that for a long time. Very, very happy to pick one up. And the next item is this little fella. I've only ever seen them in books and on other people's videos. This is a Harrig Universal Grinding Jig, or Master Grind, and it's got a lot of very, very nice features. I don't know all of them. It's marked off in degree intervals across the back there, and that knob just drops a plunger in and locks it every 15 degrees, so it's really good for basic indexing in that respect. It's got a V-block on the front, and the V-block can slide, a bit like a boring and facing head slide. You can hold punches and tools in the V-block, and it has one screw for clamping it in the front and one screw for driving it. So you can even use that to hold a diamond dresser and set the angle you want to dress your grinding wheel at and run your dresser through, or hold the dresser and grind a radius, which is, you know, brilliant. But one thing with these particular tools, if you have a stop pin, so if you want to grind anything other than 15 degree intervals, there's a chart that comes with it. Every good American item has a chart. Oh, and that gives you the gauge block thicknesses to get different angles off this setting pin. I only know this because I've read the manual yesterday, but you set it up at this angle, put the tool in that you want to grind, and then add a gauge block stack against that joint up to that pin, and you can set it to anything up to 15 degrees around to the next setting, next indexing setting. And if you want to do something that's repeatable, these stops are movable. You can set them up either side of vertical, so you can grind one side of the punch and then roll over and grind the other side of the punch. Still feels really well. The shaft on the back has had a set of Stilsons or multi-grips put on it. Oh, that made me cringe a little bit, and it has been used quite a lot. But I would say, with my small ability in using these absolutely desperately good tools, it'll be good enough for me. Okay, I'll pan you back out and say goodbye. Well, this is where I say please like and subscribe. Everybody likes to get a pat on the back for what they're doing. I have been thinking too, the only place where you can get a reasonable look at items is on Facebook, and especially the older guys, they don't trust it, and I don't blame them. I just recently sold a cheap little car, and man, I was hammered with people applying, and I'll give you $500 less, and it was bullshit, honestly. The fellow that bought it was a nice bloke, about the third fellow that inquired, parted with the money. There was no problems. The deal was done very, very well, but there are a lot of bloody donkeys out there. So if you like, I've got a website, HMSMEA, which is for the steam train hobbies and home machine shop guys. If you want me to start up a buy and sell forum on there, if you like, or a buy and sell page, I don't charge for any of this advertising, etc. I'm quite willing to do it, and we can start up a blog as well. So if you want somewhere to air your grievances and to buy and sell, I'm quite prepared to work on WordPress and get it up there and going. So Easter's coming. Look after yourself, be safe, don't get skittled on the bloody road, and like and subscribe. I need the numbers. See you later.